Hi, Sean Huckster here. Welcome down the Mighty Max rabbit hole. Today we do another Series 2 Doom Zone, and this is Mighty Max Sting's Scorpion. Now this is the first Mighty Max Doom Zone I purchased in the modern era. I was poking around eBay and I saw this and the price was right and it was complete, so I figured I'd get it. And to see, what it was that I loved about Mighty Max to begin with. And it started me down the Mighty Max rabbit hole like you wouldn't believe. And now I own all of the Doom Zones. I own all of Series 1 of the Horror Heads and a few of the Series 2 Horror Heads. I own all of Series 1 Shrunken Heads and a couple of the Monster Heads as well. And I will be doing reviews of every one of the ones that I own. Today we're going to do Mighty Max Sting's Scorpion. Let's start with the story. So Mighty Max teleports into the lair of Scorpion, the keeper of the toxic mine. And he keeps the toxic mine, or runs it, for Skullmaster, the villain of the Mighty Max universe, if you watch the cartoons. He sicks Scorpobot, this massive scorpion robot, on Mighty Max. But Mighty Max evades it. And then he tricks it into... Actually, Mighty Max tricks the Scorpion into stinging itself. And then Scorpion turns the Grabbatron on Max. He jumps up and controls the Grabbatron. Max grabs a canister of the toxo formula, which is the stuff that that Scorpion is creating inside this toxic mine. And he threatens to throw the toxo formula at Scorpion. And he falls off the Grabbatron, and Max gets out. And he teleports back out. All right, let's talk about the set itself. So it is very strange because it's not just a compact. It's a bit like, I shouldn't say. The Arachnid set was a set that had legs sticking out as well to form the spider. But this one is pretty elaborate. It has function outside the shell, like here the claws open and close, and the tail functions, the tail swings. The tail has a little hole here just above the Mighty Max logo that it can slot into to keep it kind of closed. This one doesn't stay closed very well. Some of the ones have clicked a bit better closed than this. But so let's look at the sculpt. We're very much looking like the Arachnid, where there's lots of detail lines and pretty good insectoid detail. You got eyes in yellow, sort of pincers in purple. Underneath here, this is a part of the Grabbatron, which we'll see as we open the set in a minute. Now, when you first look at this, you might be tempted to think this panel here opens, because it is definitely a hinged panel. But don't try that. It will not open that way. That's not what this does. We open it from the back here. Oh, and first of all, you have to move these claws out of the way, because to swing the head, you have to have the claws clear. So you snap this up, and the body, as I say, pull the claws apart. The body opens up, and again, if the claws are not out of the way, it's not a smooth process. So get the claws out of the way, swing the body up, and the first thing you see is this massive scorpion. This is the biggest of any of the Doom Zone pieces. Even the legs of the fly and the spider are small in comparison to this. So this is a very amazingly sculpted Scorpobot. There's a lot of organic sculpting, but it is clearly a robot. You've got, or a machine at least, you've got machinery everywhere. While the claws and the legs very much look like an organic scorpion, you see even the tail, but the tail has these like hydraulic arms and stuff. So it's clearly not organic, but they've sculpted it to look organic. And the tail and the stinger on the end of the tail is definitely meant to look like a scorpion. 1 second, I just got to fit this guy back in here. So he fall out. I'll talk to you about it in a second. Max has a foothold here, so there's a little hole for his feet to go. Max can sit in here and control the Scorpobot if he wants to. Let's get him back in there. Now, let's look at the underneath. Underneath, it kind of fell out, but normally Scorpion has a slot under here, and he stays well in place. He's sculpted of the same plastic that the Scorpion is, so it's very orange. He comes out. We'll talk about him in a second. But underneath, you can clearly see more mechanical parts. There's tanks and hydraulics and all sorts of very cool equipment, silver bits here, forming the Scorpobot, which is an attack creature that Scorpion uses to defend the toxic mine. And here's Scorpion himself. So Scorpion is a gas-masked villain with a like what we normally would see as like a hood from a hazmat sort of situation. And because he's working in a toxic mine, of course, he's got yellow gloves, yellow boot, and what's going on here? I honestly don't know. He seems to have had his foot trapped, or maybe he has been deformed into something where this is encased in molten metal. It's hard to say because the details of the leg here do sort of look almost deformed. Anyway, this is Scorpobot. This is Scorpion, who uses Scorpobot to attack Max. Let's move on to the shell. So we'll start with the bottom as we always do. The bottom of the shell, I mean, there's lots of organically carved details in there, but again, unusually, there's not any skulls or anything like that. But we do see is like a factory floor or a mine floor, I guess. And then this mine shaft, probably, it may be simulating some depth. I'm not sure. This is a sticker. There's definitely a radioactive symbol here, and there's a bucket here with a radioactive symbol on it. This would be a bucket of the toxo formula that Max throws at the Scorpion. Now, the panel we talked about earlier swings down when this is open, and this is the Grabbatron. And the Grabbatron has a scissor gear, so when you operate one claw, it operates the other. And that, of course, is visible outside. All parts of Mighty Max have exterior parts or interior parts that form part of the exterior, and the claws are certainly part of the exterior here, as well as the tail and the legs of the Scorpobot. But up here, there's a weapon that Scorpion can use to attack, I guess, infiltrators. I love the fact that we have very consistent piping here. You see this piping in a lot of the sets, this kind of ridged piping and cables. You've got another foothold here for Max. Max can sit or stand in the Grabbatron right here. And the Grabbatron clicks in place. Now, one of the things about the Scorpion's arms is, yeah, certainly, there's a scissor gear hidden underneath here that allows the one claw to operate the other, but also, the gear is exposed back here, so you can actually use this as a thumb wheel to operate the claws from remote back here. All in all, it's not the most detailed of sets. And a lot of people, I've seen reviews online that people don't particularly like this set. I think this is kind of cool. I like this set. It's certainly reminiscent of the Fly, which I haven't reviewed yet, but I will, and the Arachnoid, and probably a couple of other sets. I love a platform that sits over the play area. So this is definitely one of the things I like about this set. Of course, the platform has a back area too with more machinery, which I didn't talk about. This hole is where the stinger goes through when we close it. So we'll close her up. Again, you always have to get these claws out of the way when you're opening and closing this set, which is one of the weaknesses of the set, because it's easy to forget, and when you try, you kind of strain the plastic. So let's put it back together. We'll take Max, put him back on the Scorpobot, because he has this foothold there, and that's where he stands, by the way, to safely close the unit. And underneath, we'll put Scorpion back in his place. There are 3 pegs here to hold Scorpion, but also one here to make sure he doesn't fall back too far. So there's 4 pegs keeping this guy in place, and you push him in place, and it's perfect. He sits in there. The Scorpion body goes back into the Scorpobot, into the Scorpion body, so that his tail, it can easily place him too far back or too far forward, but as long as the tail swings all the way down, you're in the right place. Again, pull these apart before closing, close the set, snap it shut, close the tail, snap it into the hole, and that is Mighty Max Sting Scorpion. Hope you enjoyed this review. There's one more of Series 2 Doom Zone, and it's my favorite, and I've been keeping it for last. So I do hope you stick around and watch that one. If you want, you can leave comments. If you have questions, if you know something about this set that I don't, please leave a comment. And for now, Sean Huckster out. Bye.